Well, hello, peeps. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. You know what that means here in the land of dispense. It is Thankful Thursday. And my nose is bugging me this morning. So we have to talk today about do we ever really, really get over losing somebody? Do we ever really get over losing somebody? And I'm just going to make sure I'm connected here. I have my new machine all set up, so things could go haywire, totally haywire. Um, you know, I've learned a lot of lessons from people I've lost. And I gotta tell you, it doesn't make it any easier that they're not here to keep giving us those important life lessons. And that's why it's always, always, always important that people remember that it's important to share the time and cherish the time when you have those people. Like when your grandparents or your parents they're sitting around and they're telling you those stories. Don't take that time for granted. Like lean into it. I think there's something to be learned from every story that our elders, our parents, our grandparents, aunts, uncles, that I think it's important that we actually listen, which I think is a skill that we're losing more and more and more. So today is 10 years without my mom. One entire decade. And I think about all the times that I wanted to just shut out the world and hide. Today being one of them, by the way. So it's also 6 months without my sister. You want to talk about like a really shitty day. 2 of the 3 strongest women that I've ever met in my life. But, I thought about it this morning. I thought about hiding, as I've thought about so often. And here's what I thought. I thought about one of the last conversations I had with my mom. And as I was brushing my teeth this morning, still thinking about going back and hiding under the covers, not gonna lie. I thought about some really important things that my mom said to me and promises that she made me make to her. And She said to me, you know, your dad and I never felt like we had to worry about you. We knew you were going to be okay. We knew you were strong. And I'm going, are you sure you're not accidentally confusing me again with like WODI? Because, my mom had a tendency to do that. No matter what child she was talking to, it was always like the last name that came out of her mouth. And she said, no, your father and I would talk about it often, and your dad just somehow knew. You'd have rough patches, but he knew you'd be okay. And something about how she said it, it made me believe it. It made me believe it. Today's going to be a rough day. I may not make it through the whole day. But that's okay, because right now I'm here. Because right now, I heard those voices and I heard all of the lessons and everything that I've learned from my mom and my sister over the years. They all just flooded in, And it's important that when those voices creep in, I know this sounds weird. Bear with me. It's really important that in those moments where like your mind is taking you back to a place and your mind is reminding you of things that were said to you and reminding you of lessons you've learned, it's important not to dismiss those moments, because I've realized that in my subconscious, I'm still processing all of those like really important life lessons that these key people have taught me, my mom, my sister. And that it's my own mind and body and soul trying to remind me of those things in the moments that I absolutely need them the most. And so I got thinking this morning, like, I'm never going to get over not having my mom here anymore. I'm never going to get over not having my sister here anymore. Never. So, people say like, oh, it gets easier over time. I don't know if I believe that. I think that it's always hard. I don't think we ever get over the loss of someone so important to us. I think that we find ways to be stronger. I think that we find ways to live with it. I also think that we find ways to learn from it. And we try to remember all of those lessons that we learned from them. And so, I thought this morning about my mom saying that to me. And, she could have said that to me so many different times before in so many countless other ways than what she did. But she chose that moment. She chose that moment. And so I have to realize that in my mom's wisdom, she said exactly what I needed to hear at the exact moment I needed to hear it. And the whole conversation was about like strength and living. And it was about how she missed my dad and how, like, she admitted to me how she admitted to me how grateful she was for her three girls to help her through, and that we were we were like the living embodiment of everything that my mom and dad did through their lives, and how just looking at us gave her strength, and that she knew what my dad wanted for her as she continued to live. And so she told me what she wanted for us as she wanted us to continue to live. And I told her, I said, I don't think I can do this. And that's when she told me. She said, yes, you can. And she said to me, she said, so many people hear the word cancer and they immediately stop living. And they immediately start counting the time they're not going to have instead of focusing on the time they do. She was a pretty smart cookie. She said, it should be the opposite. It should be the opposite. She said, when I got cancer, she said, I started living for those moments. And I know she did. She's like, hey, you want to take me to the casino? No, Mom. I don't want to take you and your oxygen tank to the casino. But it was just those moments. And she said, you can't ever stop living. Things are always going to happen, but you can't let those things stop you. And so, I thought about that this morning, and I thought, all right, Mom, I hear you as I'm spitting the toothpaste out of my mouth. I gotcha. You're coming in loud and clear. The radio station has 0 static this morning. I got it. And then I had the funniest memory of DI. And listen, I was a weakling growing up, okay? I mean, I probably still am, but I was a weakling. I was like the runt of the litter. And here's my sister, like this big, like strong person. And I remember we were out in the back field, and we were fixing fence or stringing new fence. Somehow we were working on fence, and there was this like ball of barbed wire fence that we had to move. And my dad had put a stick through it, and my sister and I were supposed to lift it and carry it. Makes sense, right? Seems easy enough. Nope, not for me. Not for me. I just couldn't. I don't know. I just couldn't do it. It wasn't that I wasn't physically able to do it. I don't know why. I was either like klutzy clumsy, over analyzing, like with the barb. I don't know. But my sister was literally like looking at me and she's like, "You are seriously the weakest person I know. Just pick it up." And I'm like, "Boy, I can't." And so she's like, she picks up her end. Now, you want to talk about a comedy routine, right? Her end is up here, mine is down here, and she's like running this far ahead of me. So, like, it's basically like we're behind each other and like the stick is sideways. And I just, I kept thinking about that this morning and it was just funny because it was like, she just looked at me with over that stick and she's like, "There's nothing to it. Just pick it up and do it." And I was like, I don't know. It's just one of those things where like she's just right here, you know? I was looking in the mirror and I was like looking past everything. It was just her. So I did not crawl back into bed. Obviously, this is not the I just rolled out of bed look. This takes a while. And I drove to school. And I'm here. And I'm a mess. But it's okay. Because even in messy situations, even in times where we feel like we're not strong enough, that we're not going to get over something, it's just important to think about the lessons, even if we didn't realize they were lessons at the time. Think about the moments with the people that we are missing, that we don't have here, and all the ways they showed us how to live and how to be strong and how to do all the things that are going to get me through the day today. All the things that people in your life have done to get you through the day today. And you got to be thankful for that. You have to be thankful for the moments that you had so that you can keep having moments now with those that you do still have around you. Because it's in losing people that are really important to us, that have taught us so much about life, we should take that, realize that time is precious, life is precious, and that we really, really, really do need to make the most of what we have with who we have to share it with. And that's why I promised my mom that last week we were together when I stayed with her in the hospital, that I would be strong for her and Dad. And I would be strong for my sisters and everyone else that was still here. And that I would make the most of the time that God gave me. And so, with that, that is how my philosophy came to be. And it's a philosophy you hear me say each and every day. And I am going to end with that today. And I encourage you to take this Thankful Thursday to just think about a lesson that you've learned from someone who's very special to you. And if they're still here, good God, reach out and say thank you to them. And if they're not, you can still thank them in your own silent, private way. Okay, that is all I have for you today. I hope that you have an amazing day. Here it is. Please, please, please make the most of it because, as you know, it's just never, ever going to happen again. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow on the Friday edition of the Dispense Dish. Bye, guys.